Well, hello, I'm Gerald Tarot Stash. Thank you very much for joining me and my amazing guest, Diana, oil painter, also known as Wonder Woman, also known as Goddess.
Thank
Whatever you choose, just don't call her late for a meal.
you. Exactly. Oh
There
my
you
gosh.
go. And this is a laugh and learn and actually a magic tool talk. We are talking about the herb rosemary. Now, what's funny is I was telling people earlier this week that we were talking about time, and then I looked at my calendar to do my studying, and I'm like, no, it's rosemary. I guess we need to do another show about time sometime in the future.
Oh, there we go.
So if that sounds of interest to people, please leave a comment. So, Diana, how are you?
I'm good. I can't, it's the same. What can I say? Oh, so I usually go to Terry's meditation in the morning,
Uh-huh.
and everybody discovered that I was really having a lousy time with this level store
Oh, mhm.
for geostorm. So it's starting to pass, but
Good.
everybody is probably feeling it and they may not even realize it. But that's what's throwing you off.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate everybody being here and making sure that they like and subscribe to both of our channels. Links are below as are ways to contact us and to show support for the channel. And that being said, y'all know what I'm going to say next. This is for entertainment purposes only. Do not make decisions based upon what we say. Seek professional assistance. Really. So,
Really.
and we have some of the best chatters here. And Annie Bear is here. Annie Bear is going to be on my channel on Tuesday, Earth Day, and we're doing a laugh and learn about Mother Gaia.
Awesome. Oh,
Mark your calendar.
yeah, I put it on the calendar. That would be great.
Yes, it's going to be great. Barbara is here, and Hypnicity. We have Lacey, Maru, Play Love, Remember. And so Aquila B24, hello. So if I've missed anyone, okay. Oh, Bridget said, I love this is a learning session.
You're welcome.
And is it Bridget or is it Breed? Depends upon the pronunciation. So
Oh,
and the origin.
I was going to say, yeah, what part of that Celtic world?
Exactly. So, and by the way, Barbara says, Diana, love you.
Thank you, Barbara. I love you too, babe.
And okay, Bridget, not the full Irish. Okay.
Okay.
So what we've done is I'm going to scroll this along the bottom for entertainment purposes only. What I've done is if we do more of these, people have to let us know in the comments, because I was doing some studying as part of my coven work, and we were looking at 4 aspects of different herbs. We were looking at the culinary, the healing, the magical, and the recreational uses for all of these herbs. So that's the way where I've got this organized. So and the first one is what are the culinary uses of rosemary? I want to share. There's a resource that probably many people have. The
Yeah.
Joy of Cooking, the Irma Rombauer,
Yeah.
actually has a section in here about herbs and the usage. So this is a great resource, as is the internet. Yes, culinary uses of rosemary, absolutely, in cooking.
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna Okay, I'd be too busy eating popcorn to listen properly. Love book. I'm a big fan of the cookbook. I'm a big fan of, some of the classic cookbooks. Those-
Especially.
Yes. So I'm not an overachiever. I just like to say I was prepared. So I do have a lot of notes.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
culinary uses. Yes, yeah, both of us have it. Culinary uses. Rosemary is a pretty versatile herb. It adds flavor to a wide variety of dishes. It can be used as a seasoning in soup, stews, casseroles, salad, and roasted vegetables.
Yep.
It also works well with meats like chicken, lamb, beef, pork, as well as fish.
Yeah.
So, um,
Especially when you add oil and lemon, some
mhm,
black pepper, you're
yes,
in.
yes.
Or
Um,
pepper of your choice. Let's put it that way.
well, and that is one of those things that's true because rosemary, you can use it fresh because a lot of people will grow rosemary in their herb garden or have fresh rosemary around them. And so you can actually use it fresh or you can also use it dried.
Mm-hmm.
Many of us have it dried
Mm-hmm.
because that's what's available.
Well, and the I'm always reminded of the yew tree when I see it,
Okay.
and I've noticed that it grows similar to the yew tree in that
Mhm.
it reroots itself.
Uh-huh.
Because the original plant you put in the ground may not be the plant you're harvesting 2-3 years
Mhm.
down the line. It
Right.
does not, it doesn't seem to last a long time. You know,
Okay.
one mature plant, 3 years, then you got to get a new one.
Hmm.
So watching that and thinking of the little leaves of a yew tree, the rosemary looks very much like that. You could
Sure.
just pick one and chew on it.
Mhm.
Certainly will taste a little bit better than a yew tree, no doubt about it.
Right.
But it's it's strong. It's in the mint family. So,
Mhm. Yes. And Annie Bear just grow rosemary, and Play Love Remember just got some yesterday, and Bridget just planted some. And hi, Lauren. Good to see you.
yeah, I went on a quest yesterday, but I couldn't get very far. I just wanted to have at least a fresh sprig, but it's Easter weekend, so there
Yes.
isn't any. And the grocery stores are basically sold out of fresh herbs.
Yeah. Yes. So, um, and okay. So, any other culinary uses?
Oh, sure. You can, turn it into tea. So it also has a
Uh huh.
medicinal
Hmm.
aspect to it when you do that. And
Yes.
there's lots of um, what's the word, recipes out there that you can find on Google or in your own witchcraft books at home, your culinary books, because
Hmm.
especially the older the better, because that also was a remedy. Not only did it feel good or taste good, it's a remedy. So
Yes.
it supports so many other
Hmm.
um, herbs. Like if you want let's call this one the medicinal teapot. If you mix it with spearmint, wood betony, rosemary, and eucalyptus, and
Hmm.
then you add a teaspoon of ginseng, a teaspoon of gotu kola, and a teaspoon of 2 teaspoons of black tea. Now, not Earl Grey, because Earl Grey has bergamot in it, but just regular black tea, then you get the medicinal movement out of this,
Hmm. Yeah.
right? It'll be a good diuretic as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and we actually have we're going to be talking about some of the healing properties here in a little
Yeah.
bit. So um please get some notes if you need to. Take some
Yeah.
notes. everybody. So yeah, I mean the teas are interesting. The infused oils are also quite good.
Oh, yes. Just to take sprigs, put them in your olive oil, let them sit for 3 months before you really start using it. But it will enhance the flavor of the olive oil, which is already good. But
Hmm.
especially if you like to take sourdough bread and dip it, yum,
Yes.
yum.
Yeah. Yeah. I was in some of the research that I was doing, they were talking about rosemary can be added to different bread doughs,
Yeah,
like a focaccia,
yeah,
or used to flavor butter.
yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
So,
Cake. You can mix it with lavender flowers and put it in
uh-huh.
cake. They will enhance each other.
Mm-hmm. I like that. I
Yeah.
like that. So, okay. Annie Bear asks, what does the tea do?
Well, depending on what you're looking for, right? The other things that you add to the tea will help to clean the system out no matter what, because that's what tea primarily will do for you.
Hmm.
What is the medicine you need? Do you need to unstuff yourself? Then you
Hmm.
might want to mix it with what I just said, spearmint and eucalyptus with rosemary, wood betony, and those other things to help get the congestion going and getting rid of all of that. If you need energy, you can mix it with rose hips and orange peel and
Hmm.
rosemary. Boing. And then if you have if you already have a Kai mix for tea, like India Kai with all
Hmm.
the cumin and all the other things in it, go ahead and use that. And if not, mix it up with orange pico tea, ginger, star anise, coriander, and cinnamon. And that is how you put together Kai.
Nice. Nice. And Maru said, my boyfriend uses rosemary oil instead of deodorant.
Makes sense. That's awesome.
And I know that people come here and sometimes they leave hungry. Sourdough rosemary bread, yum. And
Yep.
hi, Peace Mama. It's great to see
Hey,
you.
peace, Mama.
And Kimby has arrived.
Hello.
So, I mean,
Thank you, Kim.
here's something really wonderful to keep in mind is, um, we have, oh, here you go. Rosemary is the bomb diggity in spaghetti sauce.
Yes. Well, I like that. Yes. I'm not a fan of oregano. I use marjoram instead. It's a milder
Mhm.
version. Oregano can be, depending if it's Mexican or Greek or whatever, or Italian, it has such a different flavor to it. But I like the gentleness of marjoram comparatively.
Ah, uh-huh. Oh, and I stand corrected. It's Maru's best friend, not boyfriend.
Okay.
So, and here we can add this to our list. Write a book, YouTube, uh, brilliant witches.
There
So,
we go. We're on it.
it can
You're my
certainly be good.
secretary. Take notes, Annie.
Yeah, it's like, oh my gosh. It would certainly be good in a simmer pot because
Ah,
it does have a pleasant aroma.
well, and it's cleansing in the air because it's
Mhm.
rosemary.
Yes, yes. And yeah, oregano can overpower a lot of other flavors.
Right, right.
So, and I would encourage people to, if you have cookbooks at home, see what they have information about herbs.
Hmm.
Because for me, I know there are good, rosemary is very good in soups and stews. And of course, soups and stews are better the next day after everything has a chance uh,
Mel.
to meld. And so I think that's a really a nice thing just to keep in mind. So now we're going to talk about um, let's talk about the healing uses of rosemary, and I do want to talk a little bit about. There are books out there. This is one that is out of print.
Ah,
Um, it
PDR.
is the PDR for herbal medicines. I got this for Jeffrey. And if you're familiar with the PDR, the physician's desk reference, it's a great resource to finding out all things about different medications, including the indications and uses and the contradictions, overdoses, and such. And this one has a lot of has about a page worth of information on rosemary. So, again, for entertainment purposes only, do not do anything without, without getting, approval. There's other books. Look, I'm looking around. Here's
Oh
one:
yeah,
Modern Herbal
I
Dispensary,
believe I've got that one.
The Herbal Apothecary,
Mm-hmm.
the um, the Cunningham's Encyclopedia of
Yes.
Magical
Oh,
Herbs, which is
absolutely. Cunningham.
probably
Yeah.
a classic. And if you were going to look for one of these, you could probably find it at a used bookstore. It's quite helpful. It's quite helpful.
Right. I've got some herbal books that go back to the 1930s. When
Oh, I
herbal
love that.
medicine was, I mean, there were a lot of people who went back to being vegetarians and vegans back in the 30s.
Mm-hmm.
It was an upswing of the old ways because modern medicine was already trying to push out the idea that we could heal ourselves by what we eat
Uh-huh.
and prevent sickness and dis-ease by what we eat.
Yes. Yes.
And they didn't like that because they had discovered that for entertainment purposes only, they don't get paid if we're not going to them for help.
Yeah.
So let me read to you the passage that comes out of this book. Whoop, upside down, doesn't it?
It's the Herb Crafter's Tarot.
It's
Yes.
my favorite warm weather deck of cards. They're beautiful. This is the card for Rosemary.
Mm-hmm.
And it is the Corandura, which puts her in the as the queen
Okay.
of herbs. Okay. And what she says on this page is the Corandura of air, which let's breathe it in, right? And how do we smell? We smell not only from the air, our olfactories, which are connected to our taste buds,
Mm-hmm.
which puts it in our lungs that is already releasing congestion. Wisdom is not an ancient relic to be collected, but inspiration for new awareness. So some of the healing properties of rosemary fixes our brains, believe it or not.
Yes.
It contains arsenic. No, I'm not saying that right. I probably butchered. Carnosic, right? I don't know if you've got that. It's a phenolic compound.
Mm-hmm.
And is a carnosic acid, which is for the brain.
Uh-huh.
It helps your cognitive skills. It helps your memory just because it's what you eat. It's also high in B6.
Mm-hmm.
And B6 is another one I can butcher for you. Pyridoxine.
Mm-hmm.
And that is about your nervous system. If it is calming you and making it easier for you to focus, it's going to be easier for you to learn, right?
Mm-hmm.
And also in all of that, it's a healing property
Mm-hmm.
because it's calming down the nerve endings, because both of those things will do that for you.
Yes. I think it's a good thing to keep in mind as you look at herbal remedies. They oftentimes will help in multiple areas, and those multiple areas interact well with each other. So if one is off, the other might be off as well.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're taking care of that, we've got a whole bunch of people who have come in. So
Yeah.
yes, it is aromatherapy.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. And and Janet DC said, "Ooh, this is my thing. We'll have to listen from the beginning." I'm glad to have you here.
Yay,
Uh,
Janet.
Bridget likes Cunningham, and
Yeah.
apparently we're making people hungry.
Yes, of course. Well, we
So
want sourdough and rosemary.
yes, um, pharmacy with farm, that makes perfect sense. And Kim B said, "My mother has a couple of bushes. I use the branches in flower arrangements." Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Sylvia is here. Hello, Sylvia. And Sherry absolutely loves rosemary. I grew it every year here in Canada. It's not a
Yeah.
perennial, so have to plant it every year.
Like the
And
ones that we
Vanessa,
get at Christmas time that are decorated for a tree, those have a hard time surviving because heaven knows what happened to that tree before
yes, yes, yes. And yeah, and using the rosemary, you don't typically want to eat the stems. You want to take the needles off
crust. Yeah.
and pull it off. And culinarily, you would want to bruise them or chop them so that the natural oil comes out.
Yes.
So yeah.
So because it's kind to the nerve endings and repairs the nerve ending,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
it is also considered a hair growth element. Even though
Ah,
it doesn't have biotin, and we all know that biotin will fix your hair,
uh-huh.
help it grow.
Um, yeah, somebody was asking if it fixes hair, and Viviani is here, as is Pamela Batchelor.
Hey, hey.
So yes, and Vanessa uses rosemary on the hair scalp 3 times a week.
Yep.
Use it in diffuser to help with memory.
And it's because it calms down the nerve endings. What's one of the things that they always say when you have extra hair loss? It's because you're worrying too much. It's because you're anxious. It's because you're doing this. So using it as a scalp rub, you're
Hmm.
getting into the hair follicles,
Sure.
providing the perfect environment for that to calm down and open
Uh,
up and heal.
absolutely. Someone asked, I think it was Hattie Enough, asked, does rosemary grow in full sunlight?
Um, I found that all my herbs do better if it's a mixture. Like if you're iris, I mean, there's some plants like peonies do better if it gets a good mixture. If it's under a
Uh-huh.
big tree,
Sure.
get morning sunlight and the sunset, but gets filter light during the heat of the day.
Hmm.
My
Yeah.
thyme bushes go crazy under that
Uh-huh.
environment.
Yes. One of the great things about, I mean, rosemary is it's anti-inflammatory, it's analgesic and antioxidants.
Yes.
So for that, I mean, antioxidants will help you with your immune system, your immune support, and entertainment purposes only, blah blah blah. So um, so I think it's Annie Bear says I prefer dappled light.
Mhm.
Is dappled light. Is that you prefer it, or you prefer it for your rosemary? Ah, eh. So and Janet DC has said rosemary is a Mediterranean plant like lavender and doesn't like wet feet.
That's right.
So
That's right.
and Jamie, Wandering Mountain Bark Path, is work lurking. She has been definitely taking care of a lot of things.
Okay.
Oh, all of the above, Annie
Okay.
Bears. So, um, cognitive enhancement is something that this was grouped under.
Yeah.
So, and thinking specifically about the scent of rosemary, someone had mentioned earlier about one of the pots that a
Yeah.
simmer pot would work. And rosemary essential oil, couple of things. I mean, you want to, if you're using this stuff for medicine, for healing or medicinal purposes, you absolutely want to make sure that you get the organic and
Yeah.
the best quality that you can. Um, because if you're using a rosemary essential oil, you need a carrier oil with it as well, because essential oils that are not used with a carrier oil can actually cause injury.
Oh, I burned my skin with
Yeah,
oregano oil one time.
yeah,
I
yeah,
still have the scar.
yeah. We don't want to do that. Um, it's also supposed to be good for digestion
Yes.
and digestive issues.
And the brain.
And what?
And the brain, and the two things are connected. You know, those people
Yes,
back in the in the caveman days ripped it off. It tasted good, and your stomach didn't throw up. Okay, we're
you're
connected.
going to
This
keep
got
it.
to be something good
Yes.
for us, right?
Absolutely. So I think, so things to include with this. If you're working with healing purposes, check with your doctor, check multiple resources to find the common uses, and then pay attention for yourself.
Mhm.
Start out small and then build.
Yeah.
So,
And it provides iron and calcium as well,
oh,
and
nice.
B6 and
Hmm.
all those scientific words that go with B6 and iron.
Yeah. And Annie Bear mentioned that she uses castor oil
Mm.
and olive oil too, as
And
those. And we talked about castor oil a month ago.
exactly. And soaking your rosemary in the castor oil is definitely going to be good for your skin.
Yes.
And for entertainment purposes only. But when I was a child, because I hated the taste of fish oil so much, cod liver, my
Hmm.
bleh. But I castor oil went down like it was olive oil, and it just didn't. It was slick
Yeah.
and down. So that's what my mother was giving me, right?
Hmm.
So putting rosemary in that and taking a tablespoon of that, I don't think it would hurt you.
I also think if some of the things that we were talking about, memory and cognitive enhancement and immune support is something that might be of interest to you, consider adding fresh herbs
Yeah,
to your regular cooking. Get out your cookbook, search the interwebs for what's good with rosemary.
exactly.
Um,
Wow.
and
That,
yeah. So, what were you going to say?
well, I was just going to say, definitely, when you make spaghetti sauce, pizza sauce, or some kind of tomato sauce, soups, thyme, that you want thyme in it. Tulsi, what's Tulsi? Holy basil,
Hmm.
right? And then a good summer drink, just soaking your mint and
Uh-huh.
rosemary together in a cup, mixing it with St. John's wort, and
Hmm.
drinking that in a tea is definitely going to calm you and help you get sleep, as well as adding valerian to that mixture for a tonic, a nighttime tonic.
Nice.
Then yarrow is another one to mix with. Eucalyptus. Rosemary is in the mint family, so any mint. Like I don't particularly like peppermint, but I love wintergreen. Oh my gosh, I
Hmm.
love wintergreen. That I could drink. And mixing it with lemon balm is another one.
Hmm. Yeah.
Lavender, right?
Hmm.
Calming.
Hmm. Oh yeah. Vanessa makes their own cleansing spray specifically for cleaning. Use water, vodka, and rosemary essential oil to spray and
It's
wipe
like
my
something you
kitchen
could drink.
counter. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I
Um,
have a recipe for cleansing oil too, using it, and it's with
mhm.
benzoin and fir oil, lavender, rue. Rue is something that we all have growing in our lawns, unless your lawn is treated. Easy to find online to see what it looks like.
Uh-huh.
A lot of the stuff that I use for salves and oils and for massage oils and stuff, I just pull out from my lawn because it's growing here.
Oh
And
yeah.
you can too. And you definitely want a carrier oil with all of this
Mhm.
stuff. So whatever you want. So with those essential oils, you would add rosemary, basil, valerian, and mugwort. And isn't that sound like a whole lot of magic at the same time?
I don't know. I agree with you. So we've got some of the best chatters who are bringing it. Sherry said, I stuffed turkey at Christmas with garlic,
Lemon.
lemon, and rosemary. Ooh, lovely. And I add a sprig of rosemary and thyme, two vegetables to roast in the oven. Absolutely. Absolutely. It works very nicely with that.
And if you're creating a marinade, whatever
Oh,
your
mhm.
favorite oil is to eat with, you don't even have to pull that off. You can
Yes.
just put the whole twig in there because you will get some property from the twig and it's not
Mhm.
poisonous.
Right.
But then it will be softened to the point where stripping it is easier to use for cooking afterwards when you go to put it in the oven.
It's really good with focaccia.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like yummy. I
Yeah.
mean, olive oil and rosemary. Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I
Um,
might have to take myself out to dinner tonight.
had enough. Loved the castor oil show,
Oh, thank
and
you.
it was a good show. So,
Yes.
um, Lisa Salva said roasted chicken, potato, salad, scallion, potato, and any soup. Yeah, the roasted chicken. So, Andrea Gavin is here. So, yeah. So, and Vanessa's son loves rosemary with his steak. So I cook his with a small branch. And
Awesome.
Barbara said, I used to make sourdough focaccia with rosemary and garlic.
Yum.
Yum. Both of us are like one yum. So I think this is one of the great things about it. Does go back to that idea of pharmacy,
Yeah.
and back in the day when we were growing our food, uh, you can grow different herbs, and rosemary you can bring inside if you treat it properly. It
Mhm.
can last. So I think
Yeah.
that's a good thing to keep in mind.
Thinking of it in the context of spell work, well, you already know what it does for your body. You figured it out after centuries of people, the
Hmm.
kitchen witchery, handing down the message of what this can do and what that can do. So what are you trying to pull in your spell work?
It's okay, everybody. We'll wait. Because I'll actually help you. The benefits for the healing and the culinary are not that different
Yeah.
from the magical uses.
So my favorite Mullien. I just love the way I know I say it wrong, but I'm Polish.
Mullen is how I say it. But go ahead.
Well, the plant in itself is I just love it.
Hmm.
The leaves ground up,
Uh-huh.
that's where we get the medicine to. And believe me, you got sinus problems, take it. You can get it on Amazon, you can get it anywhere. You can probably walk into the pharmacy and get it at CVS. But I just want to say it really, really works. And if I am in an allergy attack and I've gone a day or two without taking it, I know because I
Yeah.
can't stop sneezing. But the other beauty of this, which here comes the magic, is the flowers are good in tea, food, tinctures.
Mm-hmm.
And then once everything is stripped, you dry it out. You dip this in wax, kerosene, wrap a rag around it, and burn it. It's called the witch's torch.
And that is mullein, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
And I grow it on purpose just to have that, let alone
I love
being
that.
able to grind. I soak it in vodka. And that is another thing. Vodka, you're making a tincture. So you're not, it's, you can pour a shot of that into the soup you're making or into your marinade or into
Mm-hmm.
whatever, the stew, the roast, the coat it with it. But you can also, a thimbleful
Yeah.
is medicine.
Yeah.
And alcohol was used a lot in medicines in the old days because it calmed one down. Was it
Yes.
addictive? I don't think so, not at a tablespoon a time. The little child who got rid of the croup because he had that didn't miss it when he didn't have it. The croup was gone. That's all he knew.
So am I hearing that we probably need to do a show about mullein?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, and Bridget said you can use a skewer of rosemary as a grill skewer or a stem of rosemary.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes. Yes, that's
Never
right. And
thought of that.
the alcohol kills the bacteria,
Right?
and it's a nice preservative.
Yeah.
So magical uses.
Magical uses.
Magical uses. Um, because a lot of times with intention is everything when it comes to magic.
Mhm.
Um, there's a lot of possibilities for purification, protection, memory enhancement, and remembrance.
Yeah.
So if you are doing anything honoring those who have passed, your ancestors, think rosemary for remembrance.
Yeah.
It can be, dried rosemary. Rosemary can be burned in a ritual fire, within a safe distance and all of that stuff. So
Right? Wrap it in your white sage bundles.
yes, you could
Whatever you want to
absolutely do
smudge,
that.
It
Mhm.
because it dries and is so woody to begin with, it will burn very well with white sage. I know this for the fact.
Uh-huh.
And mixing it with other things like witch hazel, because
Mhm.
witch hazel grows on branches, right?
Yes.
So that's another. Oh, I haven't seen my thumb up for a long time. Whoa!
Oh, look at that. Look at that, everybody. She's got the special effects going on.
Oh,
And I think it's one of those things that as you think about it, cleansing and purification, it's a great thing to do before a ritual. If you're holding a ceremony or you have a place where you regularly do your prayers, and I would call it an altar.
yeah,
However, you may call it a shelf, a chair, a table that has your holy book on it, whatever it is. Um, you can have that around, and the rosemary, it will help you remember what you're doing, but it also adds that definite layer of protection.
yes, definitely.
And
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 and the memory part of it, that's something that I really like. Like if you are trying to write a book, how many here are trying to write a book? And if you're not here today,
uh-huh.
there's a lot of chatters that are working on putting
Hmm.
together a story. It is a good thing to enhance that openness. So that air, there's a reason why she's the Curandura of air, is bringing in clear thought, new thought,
Yes.
inspiration, creativity. It's coming and swirling around you.
Yes. And as we are open to that, adding the element of protection to that so that that can be very beneficial. This is one of those things that rosemary is actually believed to keep harmful people and negative influences away. So if you had, some rosemary, you could make a little sachet.
Oh, ho, ho, ho.
You could put it in your car for protection and to keep people negative things away. So,
You want a dream pillow? You
ah,
want to make a little poppet to put under your pillow, or to put your wishes into, or stick in your pocket. I would take lavender,
uh-huh,
add it to rosemary with some mugwort, and carry
uh-huh,
that around for an herbal poppet.
yes,
Intention. I love potions, anything,
yes.
whatever you add to it, especially the lavender, because that's so aromatic.
Hypnicity said creating sprays would be fun. Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
there's lots of recipes out there for that too, and I have one for your hair. Where did I write that down?
Okay, hold that thought for a second
Okay.
because creating a spray would be good. And Bridget said, I can't light anything because I have a parrot. I'm curious if sprigs and intention work as well as lighting a smudge. The short answer is yes. The longer answer is absolutely effing yes. Do it. Your intention does that. You can bruise the leaves and stuff like that. Rotate them out every once in a while, take them outside and burn them as an offering. So I think it's quite lovely. And I think it would be okay for birds, but I bring that up with the spray, that could be helpful.
May I say, it is so, but there's things that you can do. Like, my bird is 25 years old, and long before anybody said, "Oh, don't burn that in front of your bird," I've been burning things in front of my bird, and she's never gotten sick. Now, I haven't had her the whole 25 years, but I've had her for almost 10 already.
Mhm.
Holy mackerel. So I know that she's good. But what do? I seek out the purest candle, the purest
And
herb.
you're not putting it really close to
No,
their
no,
home, so,
no. But
yeah.
I burn candles here. I just make sure that they don't have a wire wick,
Mhm.
because a wire wick is going to hurt us as well.
Yeah.
And I try to make sure it's either a coconut mixture of wax, soybean, something that I know is non-toxic in a
Mhm.
burning situation.
Yeah. Um, Pamela said Diana is a living herb crafter's tarot.
Thank you, thank you. I will
And,
take that.
yeah, definitely it's a great protection from negativity.
Mhm.
The tea that you were describing also sounds like, the sachet sounds like a good sleepy tea as well.
Exactly, exactly.
So,
Because you can
yeah,
certainly drink mugwort.
yeah. So, yeah, and magical intent makes it all work. Yes,
I just love her. Is that an avatar? Is that what you call that?
I believe so.
I just love that.
And Joanne used to grow chamomile and rosemary,
Ooh,
made a jelly with. Ooh, yum.
yum.
So, and you live in a tiny house, so yeah, you know. Well, here, if you live in a tiny house and you can actually get around your house, you could actually burn it as you walk around.
Yes.
So pay attention to the direction in which you walk, because if you're trying to banish things, you want to walk widdershins or counterclockwise. If you want to protect what's in the house or draw in, you want to walk jeshel or clockwise. So,
Wind
so
it up or
yep,
wind it down.
yeah. Oh, here's an interesting question. Maybe rosemary tea could help remember dreams.
Yeah, it's opening up our memory banks, right?
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
if you want to do a spell just for that, to be using it for that ingredient.
Mhm. Yeah. So memory and focus, rosemary, it's traditionally associated with clarity and focus and helping to sharpen your mental faculties.
Mm-hmm.
And uh, ancient times, Greeks and Romans used rosemary to strengthen memory. And the scent of rosemary oil can improve concentration, very much like we said. So, okay, this is that interesting thing of when you take something mundane like culinary uses or healing aspects and you add a little intention for it and you place it with that clear intention, you make things magic. So, um, so there you go. Um,
Because
Pamela's
we've all learned that everything is connected.
yes, or we are all learning that.
Yeah.
One of my Norwegian uncles married a Polish woman, and she was a wealth of cooking and herbal knowledge.
Thank you.
So,
I have my great grandmother's Polish cookbook. The
love
hardest
that.
part about it is you take a handful of butter.
Yes. Vanessa said I add rosemary with my charcoal to mix with my protection salt.
Ooh,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
wow.
hmm And Donna, Artist and Oracles, is here. And she loves this topic. She's work lurking. She wants more herbal shows.
Okay.
So, um, so rosemary is good for remembrance, rosemary for remembrance, but also rosemary is also associated with loyalty.
Yes.
So it's oftentimes used in weddings and funerals because in weddings you want the loyalty. Well, in many weddings one might want loyalty. I mean, you do you, boo.
Which is
Um,
right. That's why you
yeah,
use it for a love spell, because
yes,
you want a sense of loyalty to
yeah.
be attached.
And it's also this is an interesting time of the year because at Beltane, May 1st or 2nd, depending upon when you celebrate, we're looking to the future, whereas at Samhain, Halloween, we're remembering. So a lot of times we're burning rosemary um, and honoring those who have passed, and it strengthens the connection. You may want to look at me. It might be a good idea is that May 1st, you plant some rosemary and then you actually harvest it at Samhain to be able to have that honoring.
That's a great
So
idea. That's fabulous.
so and given no choice, the choice of Norwegian or Polish cooking, no brainer. Polish every time. Um, Purple Elephant Dead H is here, been sick lurking. Aw, but I had to say all the things truly are connected, just as the uses of rosemaries are connected, and we are all connected as the as one energetically. Yes, it's all that grid stuff that you were talking about.
Yes,
I love that.
absolutely. Oh, I love that grid stuff. That's
Mhm.
it. I mean, it's all checkerboard square.
Yes. So, do you have other magical uses
Do I have other magical uses? Well, um, you mean for rosemary or
for rosemary? We're rosemarying. We'll do time next time.
well, um, I do. I hide it in a corner with sweetgrass,
Okay.
because the even before I braid the sweetgrass. And I think I've just gotten an unscathingly brilliant idea, which is to take supple twigs and braid it in with the sweetgrass this year
Ah,
harvest.
and this is just in from Jules learning to listen. Bees love rosemary,
Oh,
bumbles
thank
and
you.
others. The tiny purple flowers are beautiful.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, you know what I'm going to do this year too? I'm starting a beekeeping. Let's hope it becomes a plantation, but we're going to start with two
You're going to
hives.
get a hive. That's cool.
Well, I'm going to start with one hive, and then by the end of the year, summer, put in a second hive so they get used to the area.
Sure, sure.
I've been wanting to do this since I moved here. I wanted to grow lavender so I could harvest lavender honey, but that's just too hard where I live,
Hmm.
because yes, they'll stick close to my property, but everybody's got all kinds of different things.
Yeah,
And I've got a wild lawn and I have no intention of changing that, because
sure.
I want my dandelions, I want my
Yep.
rue, I want all this other stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah.
I've abandoned that idea, but there is lavender growing. So
Yeah. Vanessa said
definitely.
when I was little, I would see my gran with Rosemary, all tied together, and she would hit the door of her shop with it and everything all over the shop before opening. Didn't understand. And absolutely, that's protection. And Viviani shared, in my country, people keep a rosemary plant in the home for spiritual protection.
Yo, definitely, definitely. And that's definitely the bundle for protection, that nobody would be the thief who walks out her door with it.
Well, and also thinking about rosemary is that idea of, its focus, its loyalty. You can use rosemary. It isn't a love spell if you want to attract something, but also if you want to do something to strengthen the love that already is there, rosemary would be very acceptable for that. And I think that's great.
Manifestation, of course.
Yep,
Yes.
yep. So, um, the other thing about, to keep in mind, you just really can't sit on the couch and just drink a rosemary tea and expect yourself to be 100% healthy. You actually have to get up and move. This message is for Gerald. I don't know about anybody else. However,
Well,
um,
it's why we blow out the candle.
yep,
It's why we walk away from the well after
yes,
we drop the coin in, because it's not going to happen if you just stand
yep,
there.
yep, yep. So yeah, Milani's like, damn. Um, but again, it can be used to help you focus, and I think it's a really beautiful, beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So, all right, and then or okay, just got up from the couch.
To go get a sprig of
There you
rosemary.
go.
Of course.
So this last one is what are the recreational uses of rosemary? And I'm going to fix that because that's going to drive me nuts. What are the magical the and when you think about this, recreational uses that are things that are not um that don't fall in the other areas. So, the I mean, it's certainly an aromatherapy. That's a recreational use. And it can help to relieve stress and anxiety. It will
Okay.
help with concentration and focus.
Yeah.
It could be mood enhancement. This is not something that I would suggest smoking and taking into your lungs. I think it's fine outside. You burn it. But the other thing is let's face it, it makes pretty decorations,
Bouquets.
bouquets, flavor enhancement, hair and skin care.
Oh,
Back to what we talked about. Put a sprig of rosemary in your hair. Go for it. I love it.
yep.
I think that's something to definitely keep in mind. Um, and I mean, and I honestly, I would say if you want to try a little bit of rosemary, if you could find it fresh, great. But the other thing, where did I make this note? Okay. The other note that I have is if for those of you who drink adult beverages or beverages, try sticking in a sprig of rosemary. It could be very tasty and add a little bit of something to it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So the recipe to make your own rosemary hair tonic is bring 2 to 3 cups of water to a boil.
Mm-hmm.
Add a handful of fresh or dried. Fresh is not as pungent as I'm vice versa. Dried is not as pungent, but don't forget that when you add it to water, it's going to expand. Okay.
True.
And it's going to rejuvenate those oils. And
Mm-hmm.
another thing to understand is the freezer will also rejuvenate oil if you're looking for
Oh,
aroma.
nice. Okay.
Okay. It brings it back to the surface where it just keeps soaking in, and begins to dry. Then it rejuvenates it because how do you freeze? When you freeze, there's moisture being taken out of it. When it
Mhm.
thaws, there's moisture going back into it. So it keeps things moving. So you take that, throw it in the water, let it simmer for 15 to 20 minutes, strain it, and put it in a spritz bottle and spritz that through your hair.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when it didn't look like this when I was standing in the mirror. But something happened along the way to the circus, right? To the
Yeah.
forum, like that movie. But if I want to reactivate the spray that I use, the hairspray to keep my curls from turning into a frizz ball,
Mm-hmm.
I would just use that and scrunch it, and it'll
Yeah.
calm.
So there's intention is a lot of things, but sometimes we don't know why we're doing something. We just saw our grand do it. We saw a friend do it, and it looked nice. And I think this is one of those things that I encourage you to. I will know that this has been successful if people leave a comment about how they've thought about rosemary over the next week. This has been an hour packed show, a lot of information, and I hope it has inspired you to consider maybe cooking with something with rosemary.
Yeah.
And
You've reminded me of a funny story. A woman's trying to figure out how to cook a roast. And her mother comes in and says, "Oh, no, that's not, you got to cut the tips off. You got to cut the
yep,
tips off. You got to cut the tips off." And so nobody knew why grandma always cut the tips off. So grandma comes to dinner and they finally get around to asking, "Grandma, why'd you cut the tips off?" Her answer is, "It didn't fit in the pot."
yep. Always know why you do it. Yep. Yes. Oh, I love that. And Sal Rods is here. Hello. And okay. Okay. And so there was a question about us doing a seminar together, and I'm like, and I no. I mean, there's a
Well,
lot. This is well, here's to go. Watch this video again.
you know what? YouTube allows you to create a saved list, a
Yep.
playlist, and so title it Herbology Wisdom.
There you go.
And
And yeah.
not just us, but any others who are out there also. Store it in that list.
We have a request for lavender. I know we need to do thyme
Mm-hmm.
and
Mullen.
mullein. So,
Oh my gosh, we
um,
could just go on and on and on.
yeah.
We could
Uh,
do this whole deck.
well, if that's the case, I should probably get it and purchase responsibly. Know your limits. We should also have the creator on to talk about that.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
So,
Joanna Powell
yeah.
Colbert.
Yeah. Viviani says I mix castor oil and coconut oil for nice hot hair oil.
Beautiful.
That's good. We have mugworts. I have to write these down. I'm a big fan of mugwort.
Yeah,
I like
me too.
mugwort.
I grow that too. Well,
Uh,
and there's so many different types. Okay, mugwort is in the Artemisia. Here's a show on mugwort. So, I mean, there's an Artemisia that they make alcohol with,
mhm,
some good stuff.
yeah.
And then there's another one that is good for ingestion. So there's there's more than two varieties, but there's different varieties that fall into these two categories.
Yes. Annie Bear suddenly loves tarragon and she wants to know why.
Why? I
Yeah.
don't know. I love it too. It's not lemony and it's not peppery. It's somewhere in between the two. I don't know. I put
Mhm.
tarragon this morning on my breakfast food.
Ah. Oh, here you go. Gillyweed.
Ooh, gillyweed. Okay. Is that because you're on right there on the 33rd parallel and we don't know what that is?
No, gillyweed, I believe, is that thing from the Harry Potter novels.
Oh, duh. Yeah.
So, for swimming.
Yeah. Be careful with your mugwort. It might scream at you.
Yes. So, what do you have coming up for you on your show, your channel, or as a guest?
Well, as a guest, in a couple of hours, I'm going to be on with Paul White Dragon
Uh-huh.
and Allie, and we're going to talk about spaceships, night travel, and dreams, and how they're connected, and all those sky pilots out there. And then back to Tuesday, and don't we have a show on Monday? I have a show with somebody on Monday.
Well, here, let me look up what we've got coming up because we actually have a show on Monday where we're doing readings with Linda de Gonzalez.
There we go.
So that will be very nice. And so yeah, and that is okay. What time is your show this afternoon?
5 o'clock my Eastern, I do believe. 5 or 7. I know she's posted it already. So
Mhm. Yeah.
it's
on Allie's channel.
Yeah.
Viviani said, in my country, we simmer rosemary and pour over the body for protection.
Ooh, I love it.
I think, and I think, and Lisa Alva said, my herbal tarot is an older one by Michael Tierra.
Let me see if I can find the publication date on this. I got this before I moved back to Michigan, so that means I was still in Virginia. This was it was copyright U.S. Game System 2019. So it must have been just as I was leaving.
Yeah, I have a whole bunch of these are my notes from stuff that when I was doing research for the Coven. For Coven learning. So I've got lots of good stuff with that.
That's awesome. So, yeah, thinking of everything, I should have been eating more rosemary so that I could remember everything that I do with it.
Isn't that the truth? But I think thank you everybody very much for joining us. Please do me the favor and like and subscribe to both of our channels. If you want to show support, links are how to do that are in the description. And, watch the playback. We will figure out when we can do our next herbal show. Yeah. And, but this has been wonderful. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. And thank everybody. And, it's a good afternoon.
Yes. All righty. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye.